All right. Hello, everyone. Let me welcome you to probably the most important lesson you will ever watch in your life. Today's lesson is going to be about the Mel-Con writing strategy, which is a systematic approach to writing to ensure a quality framework for individual expression. Now, that seems to be probably pretty vague and confusing to you. So what I'm gonna break it down into is by saying this. Mel-Con is a way for you to formulate your arguments in writing. You probably don't realize this, but once you go to college or once you leave high school, everything you do is in terms of writing or speaking in either whether it be college or tech school or even in the workforce, all of those things are going to be argumentative writing. Now, in high school, we spent a lot of time up to this point writing about narratives. Write a story, tell me what happened, be descriptive, use good word choice, things of that nature. And those are all good things when you're younger and you're just trying to learn how to grasp the English language in your writing. But really, once you move on to later in your high school career and beyond, none of those things will matter. And when you get into college, all a professor is going to want to see is that you can learn something and then argue what you've learned through speaking or writing. So we need to really start mastering that skill, and that's what Mel-Con is going to help us do. Now, I learned about Mel-Con from a high school called John Hersey High School down in Illinois. Just a little background on them. They were one of the lowest achieving high schools in Illinois about 10 to 15 years ago. And they adopted this system along with some other strategies. And with the help of Mel-Con and these other strategies, they are now one of the top 10 high schools in terms of ACT in the country. So it's kind of a big deal. So because I felt very strongly, or feel very strongly, that you need to do more. We need to do more with our students in terms of writing argumentatively. That I went I went to this conference. I saw what they were doing, and now I want you guys to start doing this. And we did it last year, and we had a lot of success with it. So we're going to continue doing it this year. What you see in front of you is just an example paragraph of what students at Hersey High School were doing before Mel-Con. So in this particular assignment, at the beginning of the year, they asked a student to answer this question: are kids of the 90s smarter than kids of the 1950s? And this is what they wrote. Now, I'm not going to read it to you. So if you wanted to pause the video and go back and read it, that would be preferred. Here's what Mel-Con's an acronym. That's what it is. It's an acronym that stands for main idea, evidence, link, and then concluding sentence. So essentially what it does is when you write an argument, those are the components you need in that order. So what we're going to do today is we'll break down what that means. So the first thing you're going to include in your response, your paper, your writing, whatever it is your main idea. Now the main idea is going to be the answer to a question. Okay, it's the first sentence of the paragraph that tells the reader, this is what I'm going to be arguing for. So, for instance, with the assignment that you're going to do, one of the questions is, who is the best athlete in the world? So your that main idea sentence would be, Aaron Rodgers is the best athlete in the world, or whoever you choose to write about. So that one sentence, that's going to be the main idea. It's important to have that at the beginning of the paragraph to tell your readers just what you are going to be writing about and arguing for. After you do that, you are going to provide us with all the evidence or examples that you've learned. So you're going to have to do a little bit, you're going to dig for some evidence or examples. So whether it be from books, lectures, readings, you can go online and look up awards, just all the stuff you learned about that made you want to argue for that main idea. It can be quotes, statistics, facts, just all the things that prove that you are right. Once you've given us all that information, you need to provide a link. Now, what I mean by link is you need to somehow tie your evidence back to your main idea. You need to link your evidence to your main idea. Now, this is this is an overlooked part of argumentative writing. This is often where average argumentative writers fall short, is because they provide the evidence and they fail to recognize that every individual is going to interpret evidence and examples differently. So just because you said, here's my evidence, doesn't mean that your reader or anybody listening to you is always going to make the connection between, oh, this evidence proves the main idea for this reason. The best way I can put it is your link is your way to explain to your readers, like they are third graders, just how your evidence proves your main idea. Once you've done that, you've really captured the core of your argument. And the last thing you're going to do is you are going to have your concluding statement. Now, the concluding statement, it does what it sounds like. It's going to conclude your argument and conclude the paragraph. So you need to do two things in this concluding statement. You are going to summarize your answer and your evidence. You're going to summarize what your argument was, run it by the reader one last time, and you're going to mention your piece of evidence. It says 3 here, but however many you end up having, in a new, shorter way. So here's one last run by. Here's my argument, and there's my evidence. Now, after about 3 months of working with the students at Hersey High School, they did the exact same assignment again. And the exact same kid that wrote the response that you read at the beginning of this PowerPoint, he wrote this one 3 months later after working with Mel-Con. Now, once again, I would urge you to pause the video here and read this and see if you can identify the components of Mel-Con. See if you can find the main idea. See if you can find all the examples. Most importantly, see if you can find the links, since those are often that's the hardest concept for students to grasp, is what that link looks like. And then how does he conclude? Okay, and I think you'll see that not only, now, I know most of you probably looked at this and said, wow, look how long this is. He definitely did a better job. I'm one that I don't care how long something is. Somebody can write a 3-page paper and somebody can write a 20-page paper, and the 3-page paper could be much better than the 20-page paper, even if it's on the same topic. So don't just look at the length. I do encourage you to take a look at this, read it, and see how much better he's gotten. All right, that is the end of the lesson. I've hopefully by this time provided you with the Mel-Con template. You are going to go online. Like I said, there's some questions on the website to go online, search for some evidence, and then you're going to fill out the template. So I'm going to use the expression, you can't run before you learn how to walk. So we're going to use this template to learn how to walk a little bit with Mel-Con before I just let you go and start writing. So your assignment for today is I want you to use that template and answer one of the questions provided for you on the website. As always, if you have any questions, please let myself, Mr. Volk, anybody know. We're all familiar with Mel-Con. And have fun. Enjoy doing this. You're going to get better at something that you haven't worked on before. Now, if it's a struggle at first, I would just remind you, this isn't something you've worked on before. I would expect you to struggle. If you came to school every day and you did the same things you were already good at, you wouldn't learn anything. So take this as a challenge. This is something new. This is something you can really benefit from in the future. So have a good day. Talk to you later.